Hello, I'm Dr. Bobby Cawthron, lead veterinarian at Aspen Veterinary Care, and today we're going to talk about chocolate toxicity. As we wrote up on here, chocolate is actually bad for our pets. It's really great for us. I love chocolate, but for our pets, it can be actually a toxic issue. The main reason for that is that they're just much more sensitive to some of the active ingredients that we see in chocolate products. But when we talk about chocolate, we're actually talking about several different things that can cause similar symptoms. That does include getting into coffee, heavy doses of tea products, as well as certain types of over-the-counter medications. Some diet pills have enough of these active ingredients to cause that kind of problem. For chocolate itself, it's probably one of the top 20 pet toxicities that we see. We see it, of course, increased around the holiday times. You get into Christmas and Easter, there's a lot more chocolate around the house. I'd be surprised how many chocolate products are placed underneath the Christmas tree, and for some reason dogs know that it's there and they're going to get into it and have some exposure. The biggest thing to keep in mind with some of this is that we have a couple of active ingredients that cause these problems. The main ones are called methylxanthines, and they're broken into theobromine and caffeine. We all know what caffeine is, of course, and that's where some of the chocolate and tea products come into place. But theobromine is really the most active ingredient that causes our biggest problems, and that's where we find it in a lot of chocolate. Chocolate, of course, comes in various different types, and you'll notice that there's going to be quite a bit of a difference in the amount of theobromine in these products. Products like baking chocolate, those bricks of baking chocolate that you break up to mix in, of course, have the most theobromine in them. They're probably 7 times more higher levels, if you will, of theobromine than you see in milk chocolate. And if you get down into white chocolate, where there's really not a lot of theobromine, it's mostly just sugar that's in white chocolate, you're going to have almost nothing in there. So there's this wide range there. And that's why we put a little note up here about being dose dependent. You know, if you have a really big dog and you have some white chocolate, probably not a big deal. If you got a really small dog and they ate an entire tray of baking chocolate, that's a big deal. And those things will lead to significant symptoms and potentially very heavy toxic problems. When we talk about the symptoms that you might see, let's say your dog does get exposed, you don't even know about it, or maybe we go a long enough time, they're going to start to have several different symptoms. The first one usually is GI distress, so they're going to be kind of feeling sick. They might start to vomit, they might start to have some diarrhea. Sometimes that's the first sign that you find out that your dog has gotten into chocolate, is you see chocolate vomit around the house. And that, of course, will lead you to wanting to get some help. Past that point, we start to get into hyperactivity. These are stimulants, as you can see, and they're going to get hopped up and hyper and start acting very stressed and distressed. They could, if they get enough chocolate and they get enough of this theobromine, can lead into seizure activity, which is really bad. And left unchecked, it starts to really affect the heart. And that's where we can get into a scenario where dogs can die from something like this. So if there has been an exposure, you need to see your veterinarian, or at least call them up and find out. We have, in our world, the ability to calculate a lot of this stuff. So we can take the pet's weight, we can take what they actually ate, we throw it into a calculator, and it can tell us what to expect from all of this. Plus, we can then decide how aggressive we need to be in trying to help them out. A lot of times when we do get chocolate exposure, and it's a recent enough exposure, we can get that out of their system, we can provide some supportive care, and we can get them through this whole situation. I think the biggest thing that's probably the most important thing to keep in mind is just keeping your pet away from these products. Let's keep it in the cabinet. Let's make sure that you don't have chocolate products underneath the tree. They will sniff them out. They will get to them. So if you keep them away from them, you'll make sure not to have all of these kind of problems. For more information on this and other topics, please visit the video blog on our website.